Welcome to part 2. We're going to keep discussing Preparedness 101. On the last video, Morgan talked about blackout kits. And that would be anything to help you see at night in the dark. And don't forget communication gear. You want like a little ham radio, or if nothing else, at least have a little AM/FM radio. So I keep a UCO battery lantern, or battery flashlight / lantern, beside my bed. I use this for camping, but also it's one of my favorite little lights, and I keep it beside my bed along with another little flashlight. And my girls also have flashlights beside their bed. Not only that, I keep in UglyTent headquarters, I keep the actual blackout kit that carries everything else, which contains all kinds of other little flashlights, hand crank flashlight, solar powered flashlight. So besides having our own personal flashlights on our nightstands or beside our bed, we also have a lot of lamps, headlamps, flashlights, all kinds of stuff here in UglyTent headquarters.
All right, the next thing would be a water purification system. If water might still be flowing, or let's say water is not flowing through your faucet, or you get a boil notice from your state, city, whatever, what sort of water purification systems do you have in place? Boiling and filtering water is fine, but it's not the only option, and it's definitely not the quickest option. And in some cases, if you don't have water and you don't have electricity and you don't have gas, what are you going to do, right? And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But a water purification system is going to be really great to have. So like something like a Berkey, something where you can just put that bad water in and it'll come out nice, clean, drinkable water is going to be really efficient. And you could also do some sort of pump system where you go collect the water, or you get the water from, the bad water from the faucet, whatever it is, and then you would take it and pump through that system. So whatever you think. Also tablets. Tablets are really good, but they do take a long time. They can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 4 hours, depending on what type of water tablets that you have, but it's also an option. I would highly suggest that you have a tiered system. You don't have just one method of purifying water. You have at least 2 or 3 systems. So if you are using the tablets, then maybe you have the Berkey, that's filtering some water while the tablets are filtering some other water, and so on and so forth.
I have all kinds of water filtration items that I keep, again, in UglyTent headquarters, and everybody knows where it's at, in my gearbox. So I've got Sawyer filter, a Katahdin water filter here, Life Straw, and tons of Katahdin water purifier tablets.
Okay, next is going to be basic tools. I would say basic supplies and tools for the house. So like garbage bags, you want tarps, things that you can go over the window in case you need it, Gorilla tape, duct tape, always helpful. And then just basic tools like hammers, screwdrivers, wrenches, those kinds of things that you can use around the house to do little basic repairs if you need to, anything like that. So having a really basic toolkit. You don't need to be a master at this stuff. Just having a basic toolkit and knowing when and why to use those tools. And last, I would highly suggest having an alternative cooking method. So there are lots of alternative cooking ways. If you have gas, you got that, right? You have gas ready to go. If you don't have gas, maybe you have a barbecue outside. Maybe you have a fire pit outside. This is including apartments as well. Sometimes apartments have little barbecue pits outside. Sometimes some apartments allow for you to have like your own barbecue on your porch, just kind of dependent on the apartment. If none of those options work, some sort of cooking pot with the cooking stove and propane butane is always helpful. Some sort of camping stove. It doesn't have to be like this, but some sort of camping stove, anything like that, that uses propane butane, stuff like that. And make sure that you are stocking up on this propane butane. These do last a long time, but if you are using this for your main source of cooking or boiling water, it can go quickly. So make sure that you have some sort of alternative cooking method. And as a gentle warning, please, if you are going to use any propane butane, do not use it inside of the house, inside of a closed house. At least do it near an open window, and ideally do it outside. And I know that this doesn't sound pleasant, especially in an already stressful emergency or disaster, but it has to be done for your safety.
As far as cooking goes, I've got all kinds of backpacking stoves. And in worst case scenario, I can use my propane camping stove, which I rarely use because in most cases I'm using my backpacking stoves or my survival stoves.
And as a bonus suggestion, I would highly recommend getting lots and lots of books on prepping, survival, bushcraft, whatever you can, as great reference guides, things that you could read during those blackouts, right? Because while we all try our best to be the best prepared as we absolutely can by practicing and training with our gear and everything else, sometimes it's nice to have a little reference guide, and having those physical books available is going to be really helpful. This is not an all-encompassing guide to preparedness or prepping or anything of the sort. These are just some things that I think everybody should have around their household to better fight that emergency and disaster. And remember, always keeping a cool head is going to be really helpful in emergencies and disasters as well, especially for families. And in order to keep that cool head, being as prepared as possible will go a long way for ease of mind. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to UglyTent for having me on. I really appreciate you for watching Conquer Tomorrow by Preparing Today. Come visit me at roguepreparedness.com and on my YouTube at Rogue Preparedness. Thank you all so much.
In light of recent events, now is a perfect time to start prepping if you haven't already. This was a wake-up call for a lot of people, having to stay home for so long and being quarantined and everything else that's going on. If you're not prepping, or if you haven't considered prepping, you've missed the whole point of this exercise. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check out Morgan with Rogue Preparedness. Thank you to her for her help on this collaboration. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.